Oh, we may be going live.
Ooh.
Oh, 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 let's click OK.
Wait.
Somebody
Oh
go
shit.
on 9
Yeah.
out of 10 testers and see. 'Cause
Yeah.
It says it's live now on the thing.
Shit,
Is it?
really? Yes.
Ooh.
Are we live?
Oh my fucking
Are we
god.
there yet?
Yay!
Oh my God. It
Welcome
doesn't
to
say
your
it.
favorite Chaos Monkey broadcast every
It
month
doesn't
or every
say it.
7 months. I
Jeez.
can't believe we're finally live. This is great. For everyone just tuning in, or rather for everyone who spent the past 18 minutes waiting in the chat patiently, thank you for your patience. We just spent the past 18 minutes hearing Shey say sorry more than any times before in our lives.
Oh
So,
my God.
welcome everyone. Let's introduce ourselves, and I'll start because I'm the most jacked up on both caffeine and adrenaline. My name is Veerle and Hanna, and I'm a software tester from the Netherlands, currently working for Dutch Railways, and I'll be your host today. Sanne!
Ooh, hi, my name is Sanne Visser. I have a new employer. I now work for Bartos. I am still a test consultant. Yay!
Woo!
On to Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Armstrong, based in South Wales. I'm a tester, but I don't have a job yet. Ooh.
Available to hire.
Hanna!
Yes, I'm Hanna Schlander and I work as a test consultant at Visionite. Over to Shey.
Well, I'd love to say I'm a test consultant, but I'm not. I'm a senior quality engineering manager for a very, very well-known orange airline in Europe.
Is it forbidden to say the name?
I don't know. I've actually
Let's play
I
it
gave this a
safe.
thought as I was talking about it. I'm not sure.
All
But
right,
we're
we'll play
hiring.
it.
Anybody else
Are you?
hiring?
Who's hiring?
I'm reverse hiring.
Reverse
hiring.
hiring.
I
That's
love
what
it.
it's
All
called when
right.
you're looking for a job.
And that's what we'll be talking about today. So we've been out of broadcasting for 7 months. It's been a while, but we're back, baby. And we'll be talking about the job market, or rather, we will be ranting about the abysmal state of the job market. And the best person currently in our company to talk about that is you, Chris.
Where do we start?
Wherever you
Well,
want.
what's it like out there for you right now?
What is it like out there?
I'm gonna give you three statements, and you can tell me which one you want to dive into.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, we
Number
can
one.
let the people in the chat vote.
Oh, okay,
A,
okay.
B, or C.
Chat
Vote, vote,
Here you go.
vote.
Okay, hang on. Here we go.
Here we go. We're ready. Number one. Where have all the humans gone?
Hang on. Have all the humans.
Are you setting up a poll?
No, but I'm just
He's just writing it
voting.
down. It's good.
Yep.
All right.
Number two. Why are you taking so long?
Yep.
And number three. Your feedback sucks.
What?
Oh no. All right, everybody in the chat, vote for your favorite, and then we'll go into them. I'm quite interested. I'm not going to say what I'm interested in because I don't want
You
to.
can say what you're interested in after we get some feedback in the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
from
Let's hope that everybody votes for my favorite. Although
Oh.
knowing us, we can probably
In
shoehorn
the
all of them
meantime, let's
in
have a bit
today.
of a chin wag. How often have we switched jobs in the past? Like on average, how long do you stay in your role? Shay's counting on his fingers.
I'm taking my shoes off actually because I've been so many.
I probably my average is about change jobs every couple of years.
Yeah.
I think my average is 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 3 to 6 for me.
For me, it's because I spent 10 years as a consultant, so I consider each role. It's probably averages out in like 9 months for over the past 30 years for a role.
Wow.
That's an interesting one though, because if you're in consultancy, I think you're kind of expected to change assignments quite frequently, right? So I would count you staying with one consultancy as one job.
Yeah, okay, so then 2 years.
All right.
Right, fair enough.
I think that seems to be quite sort of normal. And I read about that recently where like like sort of the younger generations tend to switch more often.
Yeah.
I see Christine say in the chat every 1.5 to 2 years. I feel like that's kind of becoming the new norm.
It's an interesting one, and so one of the things that some of the people in the community know is that I've helped a few people with their CVs, with their careers, and things like that. And there are two things that's that I say to people. One, in the tech industry, it's kind of like once you get to 3 years, everybody goes, "Hey, when are you moving?"
Yeah.
And if you get to 5 years, people go, "Bro, is there a problem?"
Yeah, it's like, is there a reason you're not moving on?
And actually, the third one is there's nobody, not one person, other than yourself, who curates your career. So, for these people who go, "Oh, I'm stuck in a job. I can't get out right now."
There's a
Sorry, bro.
great book
Sorry,
about
mate.
timing called When by Daniel Pink. Some people might have read it, some people might not have. There's actually a chapter in there about how long to stay in jobs. And it's very unhelpful, just that. But it says anywhere between like 3 to 7 years, if you feel the itch, it's the moment to move on. But beyond that point, it's probably better to stick. So that's an interesting bit of research there.
If you've been there for 7 years, you're stuck for life.
Well, you're likely to stay longer, and even longer still. It becomes less and less likely that you'll ever even switch.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, so the company I work for at the moment, I was very surprised. So I'm in the tech part of a large enterprise. I'll name it. It's EasyJet, but I was really surprised when I got to the company where people were saying, "Oh, I've been there. I've been here 10, 12, 15 years." Now the company is only 25 years young, and there are people who were pretty much, helping Stelios off the plane when they formed, that kind of thing. There are still people in the company who were there at the start in the tech side, and you're like,
wow.
Is there something wrong? And then I drank the Kool-Aid, and I'm kind of like, okay, I've been here 2 years. This could go longer. Let's see how we go. But I spent, prior to this, I spent pretty much my entire career doing the thing I mentioned earlier, which is after 3 years, you're looking at the door. And at 5 years, you're opening the door. You're running at the door. You're hoping people will open the door. Why am I seeing people for 10 years? And it's so, have we gone full circle? I don't know. I mean, it's really weird.
Renee, I love how Renee in the chat is saying, I did 14 years at a company with an emoji. Like we're all being very, very nice and enigmatic about our employers today. I should have said like the yellow blue train company, probably. Yeah, okay. We only got 2 votes in. And Christine was first. Christine voted for 2. So Chris, why are you taking so long?
Man, when people say like, "Oh, what's your availability? When might be able to start? We want to fill this role quite quickly," and you're like, "Cool, I can start tomorrow. I can start now if you really wanted." And then they go, "Cool, we'll get you in the pipeline." The pipeline.
Oh no, the pipeline.
Ooh,
and then it's like, you're in now. I'll just leave you there.
You're in the pipeline.
You're in the pipeline now.
You're in the pipeline.
Are you enjoying the
Done.
pipeline?
Job done. Oh man,
like there?
it's so pipey. It's a place to be. I must be on ice with several different places where I've gone through and they've gone, "This is great."
But is it getting the people together to do the interviewing bits, or is it just getting stuck in that ATS tracking pipeline nonsense?
Sometimes it's a human thing, and sometimes it's a technology thing, which I think is a nice little balance with these things. Like one place, it was about, "Oh, we need to get some people in the country at the right time to talk to you." Fine, but the comms is lacking. Like we'll say, "Oh, we'll call you." You're like, "Great."
When?
Because there's only so long you should leave it, right, before you actually talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So I have a very big rant.
Ooh,
It's a big one.
Story
And
time.
Go for it.
this is sort of because I'm for my friend Chris and for everybody listening and if you are a hiring manager, okay, you've opened a role, you have a hole that you need to fill. It's not very hard to fill because you are the hiring manager, okay? If you wrangle your HR or talent organization or talent people, they will send you a shitload of CVs. They will send you a shitload of CVs. You know what? Read the fucking CVs. Read the CVs. Actually do the job to fill the hole because so many people are waiting to get into that area that you have a hole for. So go and read the CVs because so many hiring managers, they'll just sort of say that is lower on my to-do list than everything else today. And then they take ages, and then they take ages, and then they take ages. And the likes of Chris are going, I'm not sure I've got this wrong.
There's
I don't
there's a
know
bit
where
there's
this role is
context here
coming
though.
from. My God, people, if
It's
you're a hiring manager, do the fucking hiring.
it's
Seriously.
tough. It's organizational problems though, right? Because do you know how easy it is to apply for a job quickly?
How easy is it?
Click.
Man, you can click quick apply and you're there, unless you're using Workday, in which case you're probably going to take about 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
But but like I've hired people before and I've been sent through like maybe 12 CVs and you scan through and yeah, you get first impressions, but I want to give people a good chance when you scroll through to sort of see what those things are. Some companies are getting 600 CVs in for a role. There is a problem. There's a
Yeah.
real problem. If it's that easy to send in a CV and you might not be appropriate for the role,
The point.
like getting it back in. So I understand there's a pragmatism that needs to be go in place. However, expectations should be set as to how long this process should take. As long as I know I'm going to hear from you within this time,
Mm.
and at some point I will get some feedback or not.
Can we?
That's useful to have expectations set because otherwise it can just feel like forever. And I've been declined for roles some 12 months after I applied for them. I
But can we
forgot they
get
even
back to
existed.
hiring managers' responsibility? Because in both cases, either you put up a job and you're getting no good applicants, or you put up a job and you're getting 600. In either one of those two extremes, there's something wrong with your job spec. And there's something wrong with your HR filtering through those resumes because you're not managing it if that's the result you're getting.
And both are mutually exclusive, I think.
Yeah.
Because your talent department, they're hiring, they are the people, they are the first filter, right? So as a hiring manager, if you are getting more than I'm going to pluck a number out of the air, let's say 10 or 20 CVs for a role from your hiring department in any company, an enterprise or a SME or a startup, your talent department doesn't know what the hell you're hiring for. Seriously.
That's fair.
I mean,
Can we talk about? Oh,
yeah.
No.
Go.
Can we talk about what generative AI is doing to the job market?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, because I was reading about this because obviously we're all in the community, we're all on all the Slack workspaces, we're all keeping our feelers out essentially. And I was reading about this from someone we all know that I'm not going to name by name, who said generative AI is really doing terrible things to the job market because it is suddenly so much easier for a ton of people to get a CV that is tweaked to the position to get basically to apply to so many more jobs. And it also means that a lot of these positions are getting flooded by CVs of people that might not actually be very good for the job, but they're applying anyway. And I feel like this is one of many areas where AI is really throwing a spanner in the works for a lot of people.
It's what feeds into my point one, where have all the humans gone? Because actually, we're trying to matchmake things based on text that's probably been generatively created with text that's probably been generatively created, and trying to marry two things just based on text, and there's a lack of like humans and humans work with each other. I don't know if you knew that. Like fitting organizations or adding to organizations is a very different thing to just having the words, because if I said strategy to you, that would mean a different thing. If I said automation to you, that would mean a different thing to different people. So just having a list of things and matching two bulleted lists together, that ain't actually where it really lies. And we've seen this with online matchmaking, with dating and stuff. You could be on paper a perfect fit for each other. You meet each other and it's like, I never want to see you again. Like, and I've spoken to a lot of recruiters, some really good people, and they've said there's a lack of humanity and understanding because people are looking at AI and going, here's our fast track, here's our way to save money and
Yeah.
time. And actually, for me, the best leads that I've had of when I've gone around that process to find the humans to interact with, because
Yeah.
the AI is just noise.
But
So
that
a
I
bit
think
of
that
a
means
story time there. Maybe when I was looking, I inadvertently, I think, found my way around this because I didn't have much energy at the time, so I wasn't looking to put my CV into all kinds of places. So what I did is I just said I'm open to a new job and recruiters may contact me. And every single person who contacted me, and there were a lot because that's the spammy phase, I gave a link. Here's where you can book a 15-minute meeting with me. And then we'll chat and I'll tell you about me and what I want and what you should be looking for. That cut out 80% of the bullshit because the amount of people that actually took the time to schedule a meeting on the calendar was insanely less than the amount of spam I was getting.
Yeah.
And I think that,
that's actually
like you
really
said,
clever.
Chris, once you talk to a human, it just gets smoother.
I think that means that as a whole, the job market currently, I think you're better off if you do have that connection to the community. So I feel like finding a job currently is more and more dependent on people that you know, which I guess has always been a big thing, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's becoming more of a thing. And of course, that has massive consequences for people who are new to testing, people who are maybe not that well known within the community, people that don't know where to find other testers.
Yeah, and I think this is a big one, and so we're all senior in the industry. This and I say senior, in the sense that we have a network to draw from, and I as I said earlier, I've coached a lot of people on their CVs, on their getting a new role. In fact, I'm literally doing that at the moment with one of my best mates here in St. Neots. And that's great. So how do you get into the industry? And that is network, network, network. It is literally sort of going and finding people and saying, hey, I'm here, I'm available. One of my greatest stories, and it's a little story time. Story time. Let's
Woo!
jingle in. One of my fantastic friends, Layla Gregory, who is friend of the podcast, etc. She came from being in marketing, if I recall correctly, and being a mum, came out and she put a post on LinkedIn and just said, "Hey, look, I think I'd like to be a software tester. I don't know how to do it, but if anybody can help me, that would be cool."
Yeah. Again, that
I literally serendipitously saw that post and went, "Oh, mate, here's the fire hose," and opened the fire hose and said, "Right, you need to do this and you need to do that and that." But the main thing was come to Test Bash and come and meet people. And what she did, even beyond that, was literally go to this testing conference, put up a poster saying, "I am for hire. These are the training things that I've done so far. These are my goals. I would love to be working with you." Do you know what she got? She got a job.
Did
Yeah.
she?
Yay!
I
Yeah.
love that.
Aw.
And so, as a junior tester, if you want to do something, I mean, don't feel down about, like, you can't. I can't go to Hostef, or I can't go to
Uh-huh.
Agile testing days or whatever. But what you need to do is you need to set out your stall and you need to say, I am
Hang up
this
your
person,
poster.
I
Yeah.
am yours, and I am
That's
ready.
so cool.
And
Yeah, I
she's
think
got a
that
job. And you know what the best thing is?
What?
I now have her on my team.
Woo!
Yeah, yay.
It's so cool.
All right, but
That's
like to
such
come
a
back
cool story.
to the old point, how much shitty feedback did she get before that worked?
Well, that's an interesting one. I need to ask her, but I think I think 10 years ago or so, when she was looking, she got a little less feedback, shitty feedback than I think a lot of people would do now,
Yeah.
because of this whole freaking culture of, the cancel culture, and I think, I'm going to hang my hat here. A lot of people are able to sort of throw shit and run away in LinkedIn and Facebook, etc., and they don't really understand what the consequences are. And I think 10 years ago it was a lot less. And if you're trying to come into the industry now, you've got to find an ally. You've got to get yourself out on the mark by saying, this is what I'm doing, this is the testing I'm doing, these are the ways to go. And you actually have to have a really, really tough skin. I
Yeah.
really think so.
How about Chris, when you put out your third point and you said your feedback sucks?
Which,
Can you
what
elaborate?
do you mean?
So I've often felt that if you're gonna give feedback, make it actionable feedback. Okay. So that means not just like, oh, we didn't want to go with you, or a classic workday response for your friends. I strongly dislike workday. Here's a line. We were impressed by your qualifications and experience. However, we've decided to move forward with other candidates whose skills and background more closely align with our current needs. We would like to thank you again for your interest in our company. We encourage you to keep an eye on our careers page for future opportunities that may be a good match for your skills and experience.
Which
No,
skills,
wow.
which background, what?
What do I do with this? Now that's just that's a generic let's let someone down nicely button. And I appreciate there's a lot of people that need feedback on these things. I understand that's not easy.
Like that's
But
okay if you've just submitted a resume.
I've received that from places multiple times, the exact same text.
Phrase.
It's
They haven't
probably
even customized it
generated
for
by
anything.
ChatGPT, to be
So,
honest.
but also, I've actually had responses directly from hiring managers that have been very similar, where they haven't had the time to filter through. And so they've just sort of said, "Oh, we got loads of applications. We haven't got time to be able to give you feedback. And we were looking for this and this." And I responded, "But I've got this and this."
Yeah.
You didn't read
You
the
didn't.
application.
No.
And it's like, but okay, so you've never spoken to somebody, you're declining them. You can say we've got loads of stuff. We haven't been able to we filtered out some people, and you can tell me why or why not. That doesn't matter. But giving me a generic feedback means, like, because I know that's something that comes from many different places. Workday, I'm looking at you a lot. But like, if you haven't taken the time to even customize it or think about it, I know that there's no effort apart from you're trying to be kind and let me down in a kind way.
Oof.
Okay, that it's useless. I've got
That's
nothing
letting
I
you
can
down
do
in
with
No,
it.
is it kind because it's just a button?
I was gonna say that's not
Someone
kind, that's
trying to be
nice.
kind, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm trying to assume positive intent with these things, but I
Yeah,
can't
fair
do
enough.
anything with that. Because it's like I've looked at a JD and I've gone, I can do that. I've tweaked my CV and said, here it is. I don't want to game a system where they're trying to get through these things. At the same point, maybe that's what you've got to do. But to just get a generic declination like that, I can't do anything.
Nah.
So
Here,
coincidentally,
So are
like,
people
sorry, Veerle,
hiring
where do you
bastards?
want to go?
I'm the host today. I
Come
get
on!
to tell who's talking.
Veerle.
Sonny, you go.
So
We don't
I was
Do we
talking
get
that
a
we were
Veerle
doing this
story time? I mean, come on.
with my
Shey, God
friend.
damn it! I said I'm the host. Sonny gets to talk.
So I had the opportunity because we were doing the show, and I had an intake for this assignment, and I discussed that interview that I'd had at this current assignment with the person that actually did the hiring. I was like, these are the things that I noticed from the interview side that were maybe kind of weird. So one of the two things was there was somebody there who obviously had not looked at me or my CV in any significant way. And the only questions I got for them is what were the rates and when can you start? And who's your contact person? That's the only three questions I got.
Ouch.
So I told her, it's like, that was very confusing for me in the interview because I expected you wanted to take a look at how my skills would match. And indeed, like you said, in terms of bad feedback, she said, no, honestly, the only thing we were looking for is would I be able to get on with you well enough to get this job done? Like, we kind of already trusted that your CV was in order and that those skills were there. I was like, well, that would have been helpful to know before I came and joined you on that interview, because that would have framed the discussion very, very differently. So I kept waiting for them to ask about what it is that I can do. And the questions never came. So, like, even when you have those interviews, it's nice to get sort of a heads up, like, this is what we're focusing on in our conversation. Like, don't try and blindside us when we're there for a job interview. It's like, give us a bit more information, please.
Oof. All right,
Yeah.
Shey, you go.
No. I mean, I think that's really interesting, and so I've said it before. We're all senior, so we're hiring managers. We have hired and things like that. And one of the things when I became a hiring manager, I did it bad. I really did it badly my first time. I thought I was like freaking, Google trying to catch everybody out. Oh man, I'm gonna go through your CV, and if you don't know your CV by rote, you just are not part of my team. That is the wrong way to go. My
Yeah.
fucking God. You have to, the CV is a shop front, right? Your CV is what gets people through the door. You as a hiring manager have walked through the door. Okay. So what do you do beyond that? You have to find out what the product is that they're selling. Okay. Your CV is a sales pitch. Your CV has to be a sales pitch. And once they get on the phone, once they get on a Zoom call, whatever happens, that you as a hiring manager, when you're in front of that person, you now need to hire for your team. And that is not catch people out. Oh, I see you spelt your name wrong. Oh, I see that
The worst.
you are born in 1974. That is a bit old for this kind of job. Fuck
I think you're
off.
not even meant to put that on your CV. I think they're not meant to ask either.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. I mean, I get CVs with people. I get CVs with a bloody photo on. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't make a difference, people. My whole thing about your CV is a story about you, right? It's a story, but it's only part of the story. So what I'm going to ask you is not your CV. I'm going to ask you about who you are, what you're about, why you should be in this job. Do you know the job description? Things like that. Don't freaking, oh my God, don't freaking be in my face if you don't know what the job is. But at the same time, as a hiring manager, do not go into an interview and think you're going to just go through the CV with somebody. Hire for culture. In fact, oh no, I
Someone
can't.
recently told me
Culture ad, not culture fit.
they didn't
That
join a
kind of thing.
company, Shey, because the hiring manager had said, "Oh, you're quite active for your age, aren't you?"
Oh my.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's like,
That's really bad.
but honestly, in terms of like when we were starting out, that's kind of a fuck up I might have made. Like the first time you do these hiring things, it is such, and there's some sympathy with me to people in the job market today that are hiring managers because the candidate pool is so large. It
Yeah.
is tough, I think, to keep the human factor,
Mm,
and I empathize. But on the
fair
other
enough.
hand, like a bit of effort, like just
Yeah.
yeah.
There's also like how far into a stage are you, right? Because like if you're being rejected or declined or however kindly, right at the application phase, I can understand there won't be a lot of context, there won't be a lot of feedback. But if you've had two,
Three
three, four
rounds.
chats and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and then you get either ghosted, put on ice, or just a generic declining. I don't think that's very helpful or useful,
Yeah.
and that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So if other folks go, "Oh, what was it like at this place?" You're like, "Well, there's a Reddit thread, my friend, because that process sucked."
Pretty bad. All right, okay. We started super late, but I realize that a lot of people will have meetings to go to, lunch to have, coffee to get. So I'm going to round this up. And what I would like to do is let's finish with some advice for everyone who is currently out in the job market. Chris, you've got the most experience of all of us right now, so I think you should go first.
Okay, so my approach has been this: don't blindly approach people for jobs. Don't blindly apply for them. Think about it. What do you want? What do you not want? And it's really scary to think I haven't got a job, I need to get paid, blah blah blah. And so I scattergun might something, throw as much at the wall, maybe something will stick. But actually, if you can take a step back and evaluate what you want and target things, and then, if possible, find who the hiring team are. Find if you know humans in your network or people that know people who work at a company to get a bit of an inside track, to try and establish, be proactive, show initiative, get some sort of connection to understand what the company and the role looks like beyond a probably very bland job description, because they normally kind of are. Try and get some of that stuff going, establish connections, put some time into that. Fewer people but more targeted with more investment, because we've got only a certain number of these little things. So,
Oh,
right.
Oh,
So use them wisely, spend them wisely. Don't just go for everything. Find things that work well, talk about them with people you trust, and actually like try and help other people. Try and find whatever it is can give you some of that energy back, because folks don't really want to sort of see someone going, "Oh, this is terrible, this is awful," even when you're feeling that way. And by the way, you're allowed to feel that way 100%. But I don't think a hiring manager's going to go, that's for me. So find the right audience, share with the right people, get the support you need, and reach out to the right people to connect with. Who those right people are will be different, but ask for advice, talk to good people that you know, love, and trust, and they will be able to help you. People like being asked for help. People like being asked for their opinions, because we're all narcissists. So so
yeah.
go out and ask for help and assistance. There are people that will help you. Don't do it by yourself.
I'm a narcissist, and so is my wife. Well, actually,
I doubt anyone is going to top Chris's advice, but would anyone like to have a shot?
Just a practical tip to add: if you are looking at your CV and you're writing it, do use those tools, do use that Gen AI. Just be very clear. There's lots of good resources. There's a bunch of keywords that AIs like, prefer. So go back over it, give it the human touch, and
Spearheaded.
The
ensure.
worst.
Yeah, there's like a couple of trigger words that really trigger people, like, oh, this is generated. Bring back that human factor into it after doing that. You do need that to be good. So after you've done that, do contact folks like Shey, folks like us. We're happy to take a look at it and give you some feedback. So that's just a little practical thing. You do need that piece of paper to be good.
Nice.
yeah.
I'll go for one as well. One that I learned recently. Never put on your CV as like a personal sort of characteristic, eye for detail. Because as soon as you've put that on your CV and there is a wrong indentation or a missing
Anywhere.
apostrophe anywhere, it's gonna fucking slap you in the face.
Yes,
Does
especially by
anyone
the
else?
inexperienced hiring managers who are looking for that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else? Hannah, Shey, any good advice?
I think maybe just hang in there. I mean, the market's going to turn around eventually because now it is really rough and it's not a lot of jobs coming out to the market, and there's a lot of people fighting for the same ones. So I think having connections and using them is a good advice to try to, well, as Chris mentioned, reach the right people.
Yeah. Shey?
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
This is it. This is the gravy, right? Okay. So first of all, number one, your CV is a sales pitch, right? So you have to tell the story. If you have a personal statement, make sure it tells the story, and then the story has to go down. Your job is all of the roles you've been in, continue there. If you are applying for a job as a let's say a senior quality engineer, make sure it tells people that you are the right person for the senior quality engineer. If you're going for a developer role, it doesn't need to be about quality engineering, it needs to be about development. So tailor your CV, number one. Number two, if you are speaking to people, speak to them, and you still need to be a marketing department. Okay, this is the thing. Number one, on the phone to the HR department, you need to be a marketer. You need to sell yourself. You cannot just sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm just this kind of person. You have to sell yourself. If they say, hey, can you do automated testing? Yes, I can. I absolutely can. Or for me in a
Even if you
leadership
can't?
position, if it's a leadership position, I go, I can't do automated testing, but one of the things I'm really good at is leading people in automated testing. So turn it round to your role, to who you are. Make sure you understand what you're doing on a phone call. Make sure you understand what you're doing in an interview. Just be the marketing person. You have to be a PR person.
And your own biggest fan. Your own biggest fan and
Absolutely.
advocate.
Be the guy,
Nice.
be the guy, be the woman, be the person, be the human, be the one person in this entire universe that is the biggest fan of you. When you're on a call, when you're on an interview, when you're in that room, be the person that is selling that person. If not, well, you're not going to get the job.
On that note, my battery's dying.
Oh
So
no!
that's it. We're done for today.
Oh no!
That's the cue we needed. All right. Find us on LinkedIn. We're 9 out of 10 testers on there. Comment, leave us a message. We love to hear from you. Find each of us on LinkedIn as well. Normally we'd go through all of the motions, but today you'll find us. You're all good at this. Thanks for joining. We're going to be back again next month because we're not going to leave a 7-month hiatus this time.
Oh
we're
my God,
going to be back in the
7 months.
regular.
Holy shit.
Thanks everyone so much for joining in. Thanks for all the comments, and we'll see you again next time.
Love you, or potato.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Will we stop this? Oh, hang on. It's my
I have
job.
to